I just squeeze a really quick update. Not much is going on. I mean, this is probably the first warmest day we've had, so we can actually go out and enjoy a ride. I ended up, I picked these up a couple of years ago, barely used them, so I decided to make a battery bag out of it. I got two of them anyway. This one here had issues with the clip on the back. Snapped off, so it would flop around on the bike. So what I ended up doing is, obviously it's watertight, so I can put all my batteries in it when I'm riding. The straps that were on the side didn't need them, so I just cut them off flush with the bag. That's all it's going to be used for. The other one I'll use it as a side carrier because it's not broken. Yeah, I mean, I would not recommend these, only because of the clip on the bottom here is so flimsy. And they were the what was it? Rhino Wear. What's the name there? Anyway, makes a really good battery bag. You got a strap on it now; you can carry it. The forks. Been at this for a couple of days now. Like I said, I had to wait for this stupid part to come in, which actually turned out to be pretty good. I'll leave a link in the description for this if you need to move some metal. This thing is amazing. Actually, I didn't even have a lathe or anything to put this in. I basically put it in the drill press, and it opened up the crown right up, or the metal part in the crown, so I could just basically grind the end down, because this is what originally was a fork. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go out and I'll grab the part to show you what it looked like before and after. But now it's threaded, and the sleeve, I had to file it down a little bit, but it fits. So now it's tapered, and there's a gap there, so we can tighten it down. That turned out pretty good. Let me get this thing apart. Like I said, I had to leave this lip right here without grinding it down, because that's where the race, or the bearings race, will sit on. And I also had to make sure that I didn't grind more than too much. Like, I basically left the same diameter all the way around. I didn't want to go too thin. And it just fits in there and leaves enough lip on the bottom there where you can tack weld it. I'm going to tack it there, and there. I'm not too sure about putting a bolt, a really thin bolt through here, and bolt it in there just in case, for safety. In case my welds give and this decides to pop out, which would be bad. The hole's already there, right? This way, if it does come loose for whatever reason, the bolt's there, and you'll pretty much notice, because your steering will come loose. For safety, I think it would be a good idea. I mean, you already got this steel collar in here, so it's not like this is going to fail. You know what I mean? If this was all aluminum, then I would be a little bit hesitant to doing that. But this part here is actually from the original race, or the original pipe that came with it, the down tube, or the steering tube. It's just been filed down. I pretty much pictured it in my head, and it worked exactly the way I wanted it to work. So, as you can see, it just fits 1 inch. And then once I had that reamed out with this tool, which is an amazing tool. Like I said, I'll leave a link in the description for it. Once I had it reamed out to 1 inch, and I had it so it was tight, but not like super tight, then I focused on grinding this down to just a little bit at a time until I got it just right and straight, obviously. By the time I hammer that down, there won't be much of a gap in there. And if there is, I can put a washer in there. It's not a big deal. But yeah, I'll show you the other part of the fork that came with this original piece here, and then you get a general idea of what I was looking at in my head when I first started this project. So that's basically what it was like before. Once I cut it here and here, I just basically ground off the crown. Originally, this is what it would have been like before they welded or soldered or braze welded it to the crown. It would just be a hole, they slip it in and braze weld it. You just basically reverse, and there you go. Like I said, I pictured it in my head, and I'm like, why wouldn't this work? And obviously it did. I'm actually glad I took these apart, because they were rusty as hell on the inside, which would explain why they weren't very good. When I took it for a ride, it felt like one of them were bent. So I never did figure it out if it was. Not that I care, because I can always buy another pair. These weren't the best anyway. Yeah. Don't know. Anyway, I got what I wanted. I got this. And tomorrow, I just finished it now. So tomorrow I will prep it for welding. And hopefully it'll be all ready to slap on the bike. Tonight I'll take it in the drill press, and I'm actually going to put a hole through here and through the metal and line it up with this hole here. I'll put a machine bolt through it and bolt it from the inside even before I weld it. This way when I weld it doesn't move and it's already preset and ready to go. But I figured I'd give you an update. I find it easier just to do the work and then make the video versus making the video as you're working. It's a bit of a pain in the ass. I know a lot of people do that. But, this is one of those situations where I picture this in my head and I'm like, why wouldn't this work? And it worked. So that's pretty cool. A little bit of machining. Later, guys.